Padcast in association with TC Cars. TC Cars won Birmingham's Taxis 2019. Book by app or by phone today. So, Padcast in association with TC Cars. This is our first MMA podcast. We're here today with Tosh, Coady,
how's it going?
And Dave.
What's going on, guys?
Before the upcoming UFC event, 252. What are you thinking, lads?
It's going to be a good one.
Can't wait. I really can't wait.
It's going to be great.
A nice trilogy match for the main event.
Yeah, definitely. Some good fights on the card as well.
And we got the up and coming Sean O'Malley.
Sean O'Malley.
Hopefully he gets tested this time.
Yeah, and Chito Vera is the guy for the job.
What?
The guy for the job.
I was going to say, what do you mean, tested?
Yeah, he's up against a real legitimate 135er here. Not that Eddie Wyland weren't or anyone that's fought before, but Chito Vera's well-rounded. He's very well-rounded and he's proving it. So it's going to be a wicked matchup.
I think I said before, when we spoke before about it, I thought that Chito was just a gimme fight for Sean, because I thought, as you know, me not knowing as much as you guys, I thought, you know, Sean O'Malley, they're going to feed him to a few fights and stuff like that. And then, but all I'm hearing from you guys, Joe Rogan, you know what's going down. This ain't an easy one.
Yeah, there's no gimme fights, especially when you're starting to step towards that top 50.
The best fight, the best.
Yeah, that's it. There's no quick routes unless you're Conor McGregor. No, I'm messing. I like Conor McGregor.
Shots fired.
I like Conor McGregor, but especially in these divisions, you know, that's getting so deep now. Especially the bantamweight division. That's my favourite division. There's so many good fighters. There's no easy fights. Is there?
No,
there's
definitely not.
No.
So what about the Magomed Ankalaev versus Kutalaba?
Nearly. Yeah, give it a go. Yeah, this is one that I'm really interested in after what happened last time. Yeah, a lot of controversy with that one.
Was that the wobble one?
That was the jelly dance. That was the jelly dance. Yeah, and I think looking back at it, I think the ref stopped it early. I really don't think he should have stopped it. What do you reckon, Dave?
Like I say, game plans.
Yeah.
Every fighter has a game plan. I think that was part of his game plan.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it's got to have been.
And if you look at like his past fights, how he approaches his fights, it is with psychological warfare. The way he comes to the
100%.
weigh-ins, he's always intense, he's hyper aggressive.
Even beforehand, he says, like, wait till the fight, guys, you're getting paid to fight.
Yeah,
you know, like he stormed in, didn't he?
He's that intense.
And I thought, you know, because there was a lot of, you know, aggression between them both, I thought that maybe he was doing that to just take the mick after, like, you ain't hurting me. So when he was wobbling, if you watch it in normal time, I thought, he's taking the mick. Watching it in slow motion, it's a different story.
It looked like he was.
It looks like, but that sort of wobble will look different in slow motion.
And that's the thing, he's playing possum, he's trying to look like he's hurt, so that's it worked. He did a real good job because the ref believed that he did too good a job because the ref believed it as well. They only wanted Ankalaev to believe it, but the ref believed it as well, and you can tell straight away as soon as the ref finished it, the way he fired up and how his eyes were, that he was not out of it. In my opinion, I don't think he was out of it.
What you guys got to remember is that fight's going at 100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
100 mile an hour. So when the ref's got a split second to make that decision.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the ref seen at that split second. He must have thought, he's out of it. Let's stop that fight.
Definitely.
We ain't having that.
And the refs do get a lot of flack.
I was literally just going to say that. I was like, what's going on? Like, I was going through the commentary and everyone's like, we need Herb Dean back and all this.
Herb Dean, the OG. We need Big John McCarthy back.
Yeah, and John, was another name.
John McCarthy, he was a really good ref.
It goes back to what you were saying before though, about having people judges alike as well. When old fighters should be doing it, or ex-pros, or people who are actually training in the game rather than someone who's...
Especially the judges, yeah. I think in the heat of the moment, you can understand how like one split decision can change like the course of someone's career, and we understand they come with dire consequences. Refs are going to make mistakes, especially when it's such high octane. You know what I mean?
So what you're saying there? So what you're saying there then? That Conor McGregor didn't lose.
Whoa! Steady on now. It's a different conversation.
But yeah,
he didn't tap.
But my problem is more so definitely with the judging. The judging's a bigger problem. Some of these scores that are coming out on the scorecards, when it's blatant, that these things didn't happen. It's crazy. They do need to get former fighters and people who are more well versed, like your Jack Slacks, like your Lawrence Kenshins. These guys who are well known in the community for their analytic skills. They should be judging the fights.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's not a question of if they'll do a better job. They will do a better job. There's no question.
Because they're going back to the gyms afterwards as well, and the people at the gyms are going to be giving them slack as well.
There you go.
What are you playing at? So
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, I feel it is a bit unfair on refs, but it's, you know,
You got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah,
That's it. Everyone makes a mistake.
That's it. Just how you learn from them. So,
Yeah, early ones.
next fight, John Dodson. I'll let you say the next one.
Dvashvili.
Yeah.
No, Dvashvili.
Nailed it. Been up all night doing that.
This is an interesting matchup because I've been watching Dodson since he was in the flyweights, and I feel like that's more the division for him. I don't know if he's struggling to get down to 125 now that he's aging. He's definitely got the speed. His speed is amazing.
Explosive.
Yeah, and his ability to crash distance and move in and out. His techniques are great. I just don't think he's got the stopping power that some of the 135ers have. And Dvashvili is a great wrestler. He's a great offensive grappler. He's got a wicked gas tank. I'm sure he's training with Team Alpha Male, so you already know what he's bringing to the table.
Big test for Dodson. Big test.
Yeah, so it's I think it's a really good matchup. And if Dvashvili can catch Dodson when he's crashing in with a takedown, a reactive takedown, then he might get a lot of top control and be able to grind out a decision victory. Who knows? He might turn to the ground and pound as well.
I reckon that fight will get a bonus.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Reckon it'll be a good one?
I reckon it'll get a bonus.
Okay. I'm thinking if I'm talking bonuses, I'm thinking Sean O'Malley, Marlon Vera.
Well,
nobody goes down fast. I'll hold on to that, but yeah.
We'll hold that thought. We'll move on to the next fight first. Junior Dos Santos versus Jairzinho Rosenstrike. Yeah?
Yeah, Rosenstrike.
I'll take that.
Well, we've got an absolute veteran in Junior Dos Santos, haven't we?
Yeah.
He's already beaten it, Stipe Miocic. He's on a rubber match with him.
Yeah.
It's 1-1 each.
That line up perfectly.
You know?
I think I can't help but feel for JDS as they're giving him all these tough matchups.
He's coming off 2 losses. So
yeah, he's coming off 2 fights. I feel like
to me, it is a bad matchup, but it'll take Dos Santos into like deep waters. It'll just show. It'll say like, yeah, what can you do then?
And he's got a chance to shine here.
You know what I mean? We all know what Junior can do.
Yeah.
But what about Rosenstrike? Isn't this like
hands of absolute steel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a polished striker, and all facets of striking as well. Like
is he on the come up though? Is he?
Oh
like,
yeah.
Where are we with his career? So I hear his name more now. I'd say past year or something.
I'd say one more after this, and he's on for a title fight.
Yeah. This is his entry to the top 5, and then another fight, and he'll be going for the title. He did come off a devastating loss to Francis Ngannou recently, so it's interesting to see how he's going to come back from that. Because some knockouts change people. It's
different in MMA, isn't it? So like in boxing, you have a loss, and like you're the worst fighter in the world. You know, Wilder now is like people are not giving him any credit for what he's ever done before. Whereas in MMA, it seems like you can have a few losses, come back, especially knockout losses.
Yeah.
I've noticed people have had knockouts or tapped. It's more like tapped you seen as no, you've lost the fight. Whereas a knockout,
it's a bit different.
Yeah.
It leaves that imprint in your mind a bit more. Like if you look at guys like Alistair Overeem, like he's got so many knockout losses on his record, and he's still doing the damn thing. Yeah. You've got guys like Robbie Lawler, who got removed from the promotion, reinvented himself, come back, won the title. You got guys like Anthony Rumble Johnson, 170, dying to cut weight, was not successful, goes up to light heavyweight, 2 divisions above, which is over 2 stone up, and murders everybody. Bar DC, he murders everybody. So like, it's nice that these guys get a chance to reinvent themselves.
John Jones as well.
Yeah, Owen Bones,
you know what I mean?
And the man himself, Bones, yeah. But honestly, I think they're throwing JDS to the wolves. I feel uncomfortable with it, yeah. I feel uncomfortable with it. His most recent matchups, every time I see him fight someone, I get a little, I feel bad for him. Maybe because he's such a nice guy, I want to root for him and I don't want him to lose. And this is definitely a fight that he could lose, man. Jairzinho is no
and in
joke.
a bad way.
Yeah, like the knockout finish he's got of Overeem just shows that he's just dangerous to the last second. And he's got the reflexes and that fast twitch movement and the polished striking that could really give JDS problems. But he's not out of this fight. JDS is never out of this fight, so that's an interesting.
So your heart, JDS.
Yes, definitely.
Rosenstrike.
Heads with Rosenstrike.
It's the same, yeah.
And if I'm honest, I was rooting for Rosenstrike in the Ngannou fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was rooting for Rosenstrike in the Ngannou fight. So, yeah, my
People
head's
forget who Dos Santos has beat.
Yeah.
Cain Velasquez.
Took out Cain.
The hype of his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So Cain Velasquez. I hear Joe Rogan. Cain.
He's one of the greatest.
Yeah,
ever.
He really is. He's got an amazing gas.
Did he? So he did come back, didn't he? Am I right? In the recent years, like a year ago.
He came back recently to fight Francis Ngannou. He got hit with a massive shot and his knee gave away as well. So people are like up in arms about.
Did he go down because of his knee gave away, or
did he go from a shot?
I reckon it was the shot, mate.
Real clean.
It was clean on the button.
It's because it's getting a bit annoying. Like when I keep hearing, like over years, I keep hearing all these fighters who aren't in the UFC, but I watch like the main cards in the UFC mainly. So and then when I hear people on different podcasts talking about fighters, and I don't know who they are, and then when it comes to them coming to the UFC, I think these are going to be great. Yeah.
It's just.
And then they get knocked down.
And it just shows the level.
Like Ben Askren, I thought. Yeah, come on. Do you know what? When he come, I was on his hype train. So the train, I was at the front of it, and I was like, boop boop. Like I
was next to you.
Yeah,
believe me.
Yeah, and it just shows the level of competition that's there in the UFC. You are really fighting the best of the best, and that's not to say that the best of the best isn't outside of the UFC. There's other organisations like Douglas Lima in Bellator. Look at Justin Gaethje.
Douglas Lima beating MVP.
Yeah, and I was. Yeah.
Talking about Justin Gaethje, doesn't it show that like McGregor's record, what he done earlier on, he's only getting better now because of what the fighters who he beat have done.
Yeah, I guess you could say that if people who you get victories over go on to do really well, it shows your calibre. It does show your calibre, yeah. Whereas if you beat 10 people that are...
It's like when I was looking into it, I was like thinking, McGregor beat him. He beat a lot of like the main guys in it.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
that's all he does.
Yeah.
A lot of his fights who he's beaten are in 145. That's like a big bulk of his wins. And like, if you're talking about the best of the best in 145, I really think McGregor's the top of the heap. I really do. Yeah. Like
focused McGregor.
Yeah. Focused McGregor at 145. He was amazing, but his frame couldn't keep that. Look at the size of his frame. Like, it was so huge.
Yeah.
And like,
he looked so gaunt at weigh-ins as well. It was so unhealthy. Like he was just gonna drop down. And quit. Like that's how gaunt he looked.
Yeah, he looked like he was sucked off, but he performed so well. And I think because he's not seen as, I don't see McGregor as a 5-round fighter personally. I don't see Aldo as a 5-round fighter personally. I see these guys as 3-round fighters. He took advantage of that in not having to have title fights and fighting these guys over that 3-round span where he can really show his strengths, his power, and his athletic abilities, and he did it in just perfect.
There's nothing wrong with saying someone's a 3-round fighter, is there?
No, not
because we are the end all. If you win 3 rounds, you've won the fight.
Rumble Johnson's a 1-round fighter, and I tell you what, if he comes back, I'm watching him. Anthony Rumble Johnson, but he's not a 5-round fighter. He comes to take your face off. Look at Butterbean, the 4-round king. You know he's not built for 12 rounds, but we still love him, don't we? We really still love them. Stars make fights,
So the next fight, guys. Sean O'Malley versus Marlon Vera.
The up and coming Sean O'Malley.
I'm so excited for this fight, and I can't see a rank next to Marlon Vera, so I'm wondering if people are really sleeping on him. I can see a 14 next to Sean O'Malley. I'm guessing that Eddie Wyman was ranked 14 when he knocked him out. I'm so excited. I'm just, I can't even put it into words. I pump time for this fight. I'm gassed.
How does it go then?
I don't like to give predictions.
Okay.
How do you see, rather than seeing give it a prediction?
I see a bonus for this fight as well. I really do.
Oh, du jour.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, okay. Do you what?
So yeah, we'll go back to so. How do you see this going then? So I don't have to give a prediction, but how do you see the fight playing out?
Personally, for me, I think they're both great strikers. They're both rangy and similar in that way. Marlon Vera likes to go more towards his more lengthy knees. He's shown great abilities in his submission grappling, and if I'm going to be honest, O'Malley has looked stronger as he's come along. If you look at him in the Contender Series compared to him now, he's definitely built upon his frame and he's gained that strength. I just feel like Marlon Vera is going to be the stronger man on the night, and I think that's going to tell.
It's going to be in his face.
Yeah, when they tie up, if it does tie up and go towards the fence, I'm really interested to see how this goes and if Sean O'Malley has got that strength when he comes up against Marlon Vera. I think out in the open, I think it could be anybody's game.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's a good striking match.
Yeah, it's a really
good striking match.
If this stays at mid to long range, this is going to be an amazing striking battle.
So he really backs himself, Sean O'Malley does, doesn't he? Like,
oh yeah.
Like he's already
He's
said.
got to have that confidence though to sell himself.
To be a superstar,
you know what I mean?
Do that. Adesanya, McGregor, the same thing. Yeah.
And now he's got the hair cut out.
And all through this as well.
All
through this as well. Sean O'Malley has not mentioned Vera once.
Not a single time.
Well, he mentioned him once on the embedded, but he hasn't mentioned Marlon Vera once.
He keeps mentioning Garbrandt. He keeps I've heard he mentioned Dillashaw.
China.
He's aiming. He wants to catapult.
Yeah. They're the top 5 guys. Garbrandt, Dillashaw. Those guys are up there. They've got they're probably the most famous of the 135ers. Like if you think about that fight, the Garbrandt and the Dillashaw fights, like.
But will Dillashaw get any credit now if he comes back, due to what happened?
I think he should. I think he might have lost a bit of man points due to what happened between him and how he trains with people in Team Alpha Male. Like he finished someone's career. He just finished one of his teammates' careers, Chris Holdsworth, by elbowing him in the back of the head in a round of grappling, which no strikes are allowed, and that's finished his career. So I think he's tarnished himself a little bit already. Yeah. That being said, he's still one of my favourite fighters. Yeah. Because when he's inside the cage, the way he moves and the way he puts things together, I love accumulation punches, and he's one of the best. Yeah, but it's like I remember watching. He was on Joe Rogan, wasn't he? And he was with his coach as well, and he was talking. He's health and nutritionist or whatever, and he was saying about how good he's on, and I was really because Joe was hyping him up, saying about how healthy he keeps going, and you're saying accumulation punches as well, and I'm thinking, then we find out after that you've done PEDs. Performance enhancers. So it's really interesting to see what type of TJ is going to come back.
Yeah.
We're going to see a reinvigorated, clean TJ that's ready to take on the world, or we're going to see a TJ much like, let's say, fighters like Johnny Hendricks.
Or is he going to get popped for picograms?
Yeah, he could get the picos in.
So before I started watching MMA, it was more about I never knew there was no drug testing and stuff like that back in the day.
It was.
So then it just come in
a bit fast and loose, and then you came in, and they really tightened things up, and you could see a few changes with some of the fighters.
Definitely Vitor Belfort.
I was gonna say that's.
Oh, definitely with him.
Yeah. TRT Vitor is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
I wouldn't put TRT Vitor in with anybody now, let alone.
No.
Yeah, back in the day.
He's brilliant.
That guy was a beast.
Brilliant. Like he nearly had Jones as well. He had him in an armbar. He snapped up his arm.
It was extended as well. It was extended. Everything was locked.
Yeah. Took out Rockhold. Took out Bisping. Yeah. He's scary.
Do you think that'd be a good idea to have a championship where it's literally, I don't know, juice box, and everyone is like the ultimate man there can be. Everyone that can pump as much as the one.
They've got that covered in Japan.
I love that, yeah.
They've got that covered in Japan, I'm telling you.
That's one championship written all over it.
There was one championship like that. I don't know what the testing's like over in one. Yeah, but I know that Ryzen is
Ryzen's fair man's game.
It's a Wild West out there. Yeah, you better pack a lunch.
I think because obviously in UFC, zero tolerances. Yeah, I agree, and I think then everyone should abide by that. Yeah. Over there, they've said let's do it. Then by all means they're doing it, but I don't agree with it obviously. But I think like if they're doing it, they all know they're doing it. You know, whereas it's just a weird conversation.
It's a bit of a taboo one, but if everybody knows it's got a reputation for that, then you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know what you're getting into, then you understand the parameters that you're fighting in, and I guess so it does in a way make it a fair game also. But I don't like the thought of people taking PEDs to smash each other in the face because it just deteriorates your mind faster. Do you know
and
what
it's
I mean?
murder.
So, it's murder. If it goes wrong,
like
yeah.
So.
There's been loads of fighters caught for it, and you just think, luckily, they haven't killed someone.
Yeah.
You know, because imagine a fighter who's killed someone and then comes out later.
They get popped, yeah.
That would be a very, very sticky situation, a lawsuit. Yeah, for sure, because you're taking substances to help you smash someone's face in, literally. So that's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, then let's get on to the big one. Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. Should we let the novice talk about it first?
Oh, that's fight talk, that is. Yeah.
So I think Steve. So my view on what's happened before, and you know, both fights. So Stipe lost the first fight. I seen it as a knockout. I didn't know what was going to happen. It weren't long enough for you to know what was really going to happen in the fight. Yeah. And I think it was just a knockout by Daniel Cormier. When Stipe come in the second fight, I honestly believed that Daniel Cormier was winning the fight. I don't think there was I thought, what's he going to do to win this, Miocic? Then he just come out with that left, bang, left, and he was I was thinking, why aren't he stopping it? Why aren't Cormier stopping it? But it ended up getting him the win.
Yeah. It's been a crazy 2 fights. It really has. It's been brilliant.
It's a great trilogy.
Yeah, definitely. Like, who would have thought DC would have got a first round knockout over Stipe, the gold medalist, Olympic wrestling? Do you know what I mean? You just don't expect it. But they were saying in the camp on the way leading up to it that he's got this very deceiving power at heavyweight that doesn't go down with him to light heavyweight, and that's why a lot of people around him fancy that Jones fight, that third Jones fight. But the liver shots from Stipe, like, who would have expected 15 liver shots just
it was just
on the bounce?
Unreal, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it's DC's tendency to put his hands up. He's leaving his body open, and it is an effective defense. Providing you don't get counted to it, it's all I mean.
I was going to say, you think like someone of his caliber though would, after 10 of them, might kind of put his one arm there, you know, or is he expecting, if I put my arm there, he's going to lick my head off now?
What you got to think is it's very hard to readjust in a fight like that quickly to something that someone's just figured out or not. He probably didn't even figure it out. He probably just thought, I'll get him in the later rounds with this. Yeah. But he said himself, he found his footwork and then he started using it. So I think it's very, very hard for Cormier to, like you say, just put that arm down because he's so used to his game plan, what he's already doing. Yeah. It's very hard for him to readjust at that last minute. Yeah. You know what I mean? And work out his footwork as well, because don't forget, he didn't have that footwork in them earlier rounds.
So we'll go back to, so how do you see this going then? So I don't have to give a prediction, but how do you see the fight playing out?
Personally, for me, I think they're both great strikers. They're both rangy and similar in that way. Marlon Vera likes to go more towards his more lengthy knees. He's shown great abilities in his submission grappling. And if I'm going to be honest, O'Malley has looked stronger as he's come along. If you look at him in the Contender Series compared to him now, he's definitely built upon his frame and he's gained that strength. I just feel like Marlon Vera is going to be the stronger man on the night, and I think that's going to tell.
It's going to be in his face.
Yeah, when they tie up. If it does tie up and go towards defence, I'm really interested to see how this goes and if Sean O'Malley has got that strength when he comes up against Marlon Vera. I think out in the open, I think it could be anybody's game. Yeah. I really do.
It's a good striking match.
Yeah, it's a really good striking match. If this stays at mid to long range, this is going to be an amazing striking battle.
So he really backs himself, Sean O'Malley does, doesn't he?
Oh yeah.
Like he's already
He's got to have that confidence though to sell himself.
To be a superstar, you know got to do that. Adesanya, McGregor, the same thing. Yeah.
Now he's got the hair cut out.
And all through this as well. All through this as well, Sean O'Malley has not mentioned Vera once.
Not a single time.
Well, he mentioned him once in embedded.
He
hasn't mentioned Marlon Vera once.
He keeps mentioning Garbrandt. He keeps. I've heard he mentioned Dillashaw.
China.
He's aiming. He wants to catapult them.
They're the top 5 guys. Garbrandt, Dillashaw. Those guys are up there. They've got they're probably the most famous of the 135ers. Like if you think about that fight, the Garbrandt and the Dillashaw fights, like.
Well, will Dillashaw get any credit now if he comes back, due to what happened?
I think he should. I think he might have lost a bit of man points due to what happened between him and how he trains with people in Team Alpha Male. Like, he finished someone's career. He finished one of his teammates' careers, Chris Holdsworth, by elbowing him in the back of the head in a round of grappling, which no strikes are allowed, and that's finished his career. So I think he's tarnished himself a little bit already. Yeah. That being said, he's still one of my favourite fighters. Yeah. Because when he's inside the cage, the way he moves and the way he puts things together, I love accumulation punches, and he's one of the best. Yeah, but
it's like, I remember watching, he was on Joe Rogan, wasn't he? And he was with his coach as well, and he was talking, he's health and nutritionist or whatever. And he was saying about how good he's on, and I was really because Joe was hyping him up, saying about how healthy he keeps going, and you're saying accumulation punches as well. And I'm thinking, then we find out after that you've done PEDs.
Performance enhancers. So it's really interesting to see what type of TJ is going to come back.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a reinvigorated, clean TJ that's ready to take on the world, or are we going to see a TJ much like, let's say, fighters like Johnny Hendricks?
Or is he going to get cut for picograms?
Yeah, you could get the picos in.
So before I started watching MMA, it was more about I never knew there was no drug testing or stuff like that back in the day.
It was.
So then it just come in
a bit fast and loose, and then USADA came in, and they really tightened things up, and you could see a few changes with some of the fighters.
Definitely Vitor Belfort.
I was going to say that.
Definitely with him.
Yeah. TRT Vitor is terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
I wouldn't put TRT Vitor in with anybody now, let alone.
No.
Yeah, back in the day.
He's brilliant.
That guy was a beast.
He's brilliant. Like, he nearly had Jones as well. He had him in an armbar. He snapped up his arm.
It was extended as well.
It
was extended. Everything was locked.
Yeah. Took out Rockhold. Took out Bisping. Yeah, he's scary.
Do you think there'd be a good idea to have a championship where it's literally, I don't know, juice box, and everyone is the ultimate man they can be. Everyone they can pump as much as the one.
They've got that covered in Japan.
They've
got that covered in Japan. I'm telling you.
That's one championship written all over it.
There was one championship like that. I don't know what the testing's like over in one. But I know that Ryzen is
Ryzen's fair man's game.
It's a Wild West out there. You better pack a lunch.
I think because obviously in UFC, zero tolerance is, I agree, and I think then everyone should abide by that. Over there, they've said, let's do it, then by all means they're doing it, but I don't agree with it, obviously, but I think if they're doing it, they all know they're doing it, whereas it's just a weird conversation.
It's a bit of a taboo one, but if everybody knows it's got a reputation for that, then you know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you know what you're getting into, then you understand the parameters that you're fighting in. And I guess, so it does, in a way, make it a fair game also. But I don't like the thought of people taking PEDs to smash each other in the face. Because it just deteriorates your mind faster.
Yeah.
Do you know
and
what
it's
I mean?
murder.
It's murder. If it goes wrong.
So...
There's been loads of fighters caught for it, and you just think, luckily, they haven't killed someone. Because imagine a fighter who's killed someone
and then
comes out
positive. They get popped,
That would be a very, very sticky situation, a lawsuit. For sure, because you're taking substances to help you smash someone's face in, literally. So that's crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, then let's get on to the big one. Stipe Miocic versus Daniel Cormier. Should we let the novice talk about it first?
Oh, that's fight talk, that is. You know what I mean?
So I think my view on what's happened before and both fights. So Stipe lost the first fight. I seen it as a knockout. I didn't know what was going to happen. It weren't long enough for you to know what was really going to happen in the fight. And I think it was just a knockout by Daniel Cormier. When Stipe come in the second fight, I honestly believed that Daniel Cormier was winning the fight. I don't think there was I thought, what's he going to do to win this, Miocic? Then he just come out with that left, bang, left, and he was just, I was thinking, why aren't he stopping it? Why aren't Cormier stopping it? But it ended up getting him the win.
Yeah. It's been a crazy 2 fights. It really has. It's been brilliant.
It's a great trilogy.
Yeah, definitely. Like, who would have thought DC would have got a first round knockout over Stipe, the gold medalist of Olympic wrestling? Do you know what I mean? You just don't expect it. But they were saying in the camp on the way leading up to it that he's got very deceiving power at heavyweight that doesn't go down with him to light heavyweight, and that's why a lot of people around him fancy that Jones fight, that third Jones fight. But the liver shots from Stipe, like, who would have expected 15 liver shots just?
It was just unreal, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's DC's tendency to put his hands up. He's leaving his body open, and it is an effective defense. But provided you don't get counted to it, it's all of them.
I was gonna say, you think like someone of his caliber though would, after 10 of them, might kind of put his one arm there, you know, just or is he expecting, if I put my arm there, he's gonna lick my head off now?
What you got to think is it's very hard to readjust in a fight like that quickly to something that someone's just figured out or not. He probably didn't even figure it out. He probably just thought, I'll get him in the later rounds with this. Yeah. But he said himself, he found his footwork and then he started using it. So I think it's very, very hard for Cormier to, like you say, just put that arm down because he's so used to his game plan, what he's already doing. Yeah. It's very hard for him to readjust at that last minute. Yeah. You know what I mean? And work out his footwork as well, because don't forget, he didn't have that footwork in them earlier rounds. So in them later rounds, Stipe started finding his feet, his motion, started literally laying. How many did he 14 liver shots? Something like 14, 15 liver shots.
How did you even get that off?
Come on, man.
It is crazy, and DC's a grinder, so I think his tendencies came back to haunt him a little bit there, like in the Jones fight. When he slips maybe the jab, or he fades to the right hand side, the left high kick's there all the time. And it's hard, once you've built those patterns, especially if you're such a grinder like DC, it's hard to get rid of them. Like, I'm still trying to get rid of tendencies that I've been using for a long time as well. And I think another one of his tendencies is framing up. Against taller men, framing up against taller men. And I think that came back for him. I think a little bit of it as well was, you go into a fight, you knock the person out in the first round, you go into the second fight, you're 3 rounds up. I think in his head, I don't think he was worried about it to start with until it was too late. I really don't. I think he thought that he was just going to walk through it and just bowl him over and go 2-0. I really think that. Yeah. And he came back to haunt him. Batons.
So, you got a prediction? I think we should always predict the main event. Everyone we do, based on an event, I think we should always have to. We don't make predictions all the way through. We've all got a good enough knowledge of the main events, you know what I mean? So I think we should all do one, and then that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it?
Okay, I'm gonna. Taking into account the what you were saying earlier about him bringing his wrestling shoes and the smaller cage, I'm gonna go with DC on this one. I think Stipe is a great fighter, he's a fantastic heavyweight, and he doesn't do much wrong at all. He's shown the ability to adjust, but I just think with these circumstances, I think DC is going to take it. I've just got a gut feeling.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, and co-main event, I'm rooting for Chito Vera. I love Sean O'Malley, but I'm rooting for Vera, something in there. Yeah.
Always rooting for the underdog.
Yeah. Go on then, Dave.
All I'm going to say is they're very good fights. It's literally very good, very good fights.
These are 50-50 fights, and these what you would say, you know, this...
Yeah.
I mean, don't sleep on Vera. That's all. I don't think it's 50-50. I'm just saying, don't sleep on him.
Yeah.
Don't think it's going to be a walk in the park like what Eddie Wyman, because it's not.
Yeah.
At all.
So you've got Sean O'Malley there, and then you've got
I haven't seen
that. Come with our pounds ready to pay.
And then the main event.
It's a good fight, like
stay focused.
So I feel like...
Okay, I'm going to give the main event... Based on what Daniel said, I'm going to say the wrestling shoes is going to...
Yeah?
Just pip it for him, because if he does bring that game,
There wasn't
He's
too
an
much.
Olympic gold
There
medalist,
wasn't
mate.
too
You can't
much.
take it. You can't take that away from him.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen him use it in them two fights anyway.
I was going to say there wasn't too much wrestling in the first.
No,
well, definitely not in the first. In the
well,
second,
yeah.
there was a little bit of grappling, but it's nothing. And so along them lines, I think it's across the board. We've got a Daniel Cormier win. I think.
How about you?
Yeah. I think Daniel Cormier. I mean, I can't even add a point to it. The only thing I would say is that, based on him retiring as well, I feel like he's literally wants to go off right into the sunset. You know what I mean? Let's get off.
Yeah.
So, no disrespect, credit to Miocic, because I think I want Miocic to win because he's the one carrying on.
He's gonna
he's
start.
He's the one who's gonna be here, and he's gonna. So then we've got more big fights coming, but so this is just gonna put it up in the air, isn't it? So.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd probably have a title fight straight after anyway, wouldn't he, Miocic? So, yes. So I'd say Cormier, and I don't know enough about either to even make up 6 on Sean O'Malley. I'm just on a hype train with Sean O'Malley, so I'm not gonna. I could see him. Yeah, he's gonna win, but I don't really know. So
you'd have to go with him off of your knowledge of him.
Yeah, but I would. There's no point because it's just. I could go. Say like in the undercard, the prelims, I could say Herbert Burns is fighting Daniel Pineda. Yeah. And I'm like, Burns is going to win because of his brother. I know. So I don't really know. So but I do think Cormier's got it, and I'm loving his podcast as well. You know what I mean? That's it. Have you been watching his podcast with Mario Hawani?
I haven't. No. Oh, I've seen clips actually. Yeah, him and Hawani.
Yeah, it's really good. Like, and
lots of good
they've got quite a good
chemistry.
Chemistry. They keep going back and forth, and like. You can see like the having to tell him, like he's saying to Cormier one day, like he was a little bit late. He's like, "You need to keep forgetting this isn't a gym session. This is a job now." Like, and it was like,
just rock at 25 minutes.
Yeah, and they keep taking him out of each other. It's really good. Like, I do enjoy it.
I'm gonna have to have a watch of that again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See if there's any more.
So should we throw some like subjects out then? Like I don't know, maybe Adesanya versus Costa and stuff like that, or
Go on.
Wow.
What do you?
What's your
thoughts on that?
I think that's a great fight.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be one of the best this year. I think if it happens. Have they even signed that? Has it signed yet?
I don't think so. I did hear something about them being coaches for the new tough season. Yeah. If that happens,
But Costa's just a
I'm sold already.
So can I just ask you? So
he's a specimen, man. He's like
he's like a Romero.
As well.
Yeah.
Those guys,
Jesus
man.
Christ.
Yeah. I think I'm a big Izzy fan. He's an elite level striker, and he's shown he's got a little bit of salve on the floor as well. Do you know what I mean? He can keep it up there. I think Costa's a bloody bad matchup. I think it's a really bad matchup.
But it's a good fight.
Yeah. It's gonna be a great fight, and I love the fact that Izzy called him out. He won the championship. He took out Gastelum. He beat Whittaker. Gets the championship bout, challenges Romero. Nobody calls out Romero.
Nobody calls out
Romero. Nobody calls.
I was going to say, if you don't know who Romero is, we'll try and get a picture up and we'll show you who Romero is. But if you don't know, go on Google now.
Google Yoel Romero.
You won't call him out.
Yeah. And then
if you're a heavyweight, you won't call him out.
Yeah.
Like,
and then after I wanted to Google Paulo Costa because he's just the same. They're built out of stone. If you just look at them, they're huge.
Like, you think they're naturally that sort of build and then like being a fighter as well.
Romero even said on the one of podcasts, he said
I don't do weights.
Yeah, well he does do weights. Right. But he said even the bus drivers over in my country are built like me.
Yeah.
Like the bus drivers, how are they built like you?
And then,
he said it's just genetics, it's just the way they are in Cuba. Like, it's how it is.
I could believe that he's clean. I really could believe that he's clean.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And with the amount of training he did in the what was it called? It was like a big establishment where they're training all the time and competing against each other. He's been doing it for 20 years straight.
Don't forget he's an Olympic wrestler as well, so he's been training for a long time, and he's in his 40s.
Yeah, I can't believe
43.
40.
Madness.
40.
So how do you reckon that fight goes with Adesanya and Costa? That is a quality fight, because you're gonna have Costa running him down, and then you're gonna have Izzy trying to just get them pop shots off in and out.
I don't think anyone's going for a takedown.
Yeah.
No.
It's just a brawl.
It's going to be
straight striking match. That is.
Anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was saying to you, I feel like Paulo Costa's got the Ponzinibbio effect. He's got a certain amount of strength and he throws with such a high amount of volume that it's hard for a lot of fighters to deal with. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be the problem for Izzy because he's an elite level striker, but he's not going to have the same thing isn't going to happen in the Yoel fight where Yoel, he unloads and then he reloads, he unloads and then he reloads. Paulo Costa's shown it's only a 3-round fight, but the pace that he pushed for a larger middleweight was absolutely unbelievable against Romero. And I think that kind of pressure and power, he only needs to clip you with one good shot, and that can change the whole fight.
Oh, so, is he the new Romero then? Would you say he'll be like, that's the torch being passed, that type of
We'll have a look after Adesanya.
Yeah.
Well, because that's the biggest test, isn't it? So it's championship fight.
Yeah.
But he's challenging for
Look how many times Romero's got to the championship rounds, championship fights.
We should have tasted that gold.
You know, and he looks like a champion as well.
Yeah,
he carries himself built like for it.
So what else we got then? So we got Masvidal Usman. I wanted to talk about. That's because we've got all the stuff that's happening around them, but no one's even talking about them now. So
Usman gets a lot of hate.
Yeah, I love that. So I just put it out there. I
don't
care
his grinding style,
whether you win or lose. I think if you win, you win. You win, you win.
He deserves to be the champion.
So like it's the same with. So his name. Yeah, Khabib. That's easy. I'm not gonna make a mega up. Yeah. So but yeah, same with Khabib. Like I don't think it's the most exciting fight. But you just want to fight. Don't let anyone talk you down. Like carry on doing what you're doing. The reason they're talking you down is because they don't want you to do it. They don't want you to do it because that wins. And they're like, oh, you're not an exciting fighter. Oh, because if I start being exciting, I'll get knocked out.
Yeah.
Yes, sure.
And that's what you would want.
Yeah, of course.
So.
And I think it's good. I think these guys should be at the top of the heap. Khabib, I like Khabib's ground and pound style. Usman's great at controlling on the cage. Yeah, it might not be the same as an absolute slugfest, but the UFC maintains one thing, and that's truth with regards to the effectiveness of combat. And that's what you're seeing. If you can't beat me, then you can't have this belt.
Yeah.
And this belt is representing what is the most complete combat style within this cage. And I like that, I admire that. I just think he gets so much hate. Yeah. I don't think he's a massively entertaining fighter, but he resembles a great martial artist. And I think Masvidal gave a great account of himself in that fight, a really good account. He didn't get dominated and beaten up on the floor. Yeah, he got controlled on the cage, and Usman did get some top time, but he was in that fight all the way through. He was from a great combination.
I don't believe he never had enough time though. I believe he was training. I was just watching, I was on YouTube the whole time. He was wrestling with people, he was out training and stuff like that. He probably might have extra stuff and that, but he was training. He's a fighter. He knew that things were coming.
He's big shot, especially after, like you're saying, with redemptions. Masvidal, another great one. He's lost a few split decisions, went into the jungle or wherever he went, came back out, and he's starching guys
with a whole new look as well.
Yeah,
it's mad how they're all coming. It's mad how they're all coming back with a different look to it.
Yeah, it's good though.
Everyone gets baptised.
Yeah. It's kind of good when he first says that. He says it like off the cuff, and it kind of stuck, didn't it? And it was like, then it was just every time.
You use super necessary. Like I like that. Hashtag super necessary.
Would you like to see that again, or do you think he just goes the same way?
I think if that.
I like to see him with a full cam.
Yeah.
Let's see what Masvidal prefers for it.
I honestly think that Gamebred's a lifelong martial artist and fighter, even before he was in the cage. I think he knew what he was going to be in for, and he knew the opportunities that were coming his way. Yes, 6 days isn't a lot of time. Yes, he could probably polish up some things, but he knew who was at the top of the heap. And after he'd finished Till and Askren, I think he knew where he was going, the direction, and who was going to be at the top of the heap when he got there. So I think he's prepped. And if that fight happens 10 times, I think 8 out of the 10 times, 9 out of the 10 times, the same thing happens, and the other one, Masvidal gets the knockout. I really do think that type of fight will play out. Yeah.
That's all I want to ask. You mentioned Till.
Okay.
So Till, following his career, you know, you think, yes.
Like you say, I was driving that Darren Till train
Like, you
day and night.
And when it broke down, the train, you was up all night fixing
it.
Yeah. So that's what
Fixing the train.
And that's what I'm saying.
Fixing
So,
the train. I'm a massive Darren Till fan.
It was hard to see him.
It was hard. Yeah. But I knew he was going to bounce back.
Yeah.
I knew it. I reckon he will be champion one day.
He reminds me.
He's got a bit.
Like a more. I could be fully wrong. Say what you want. A more talented Michael Bisping sort of thing. I feel like.
Oh, you're throwing shade at our boy Bisping like that.
No.
Did you see what he did to Rock?
Let me finish. I feel like his skill set is better than Bisping. Okay. I think there's something I heard about Bisping which.
He's like a Bisping 2.0. Is that what you're saying?
No, because he might have different qualities, but it might be just because they're English as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like with Bisping, he could beat like anyone in the top division at the time when he was fighting at the top division. He could beat anyone. Yeah. Also, anyone could beat him, and that's how I kind of feel with Till. Like I feel like he could beat anyone, but now from what we've seen, I feel like they can beat him, sort of thing. But I do feel like his skill set is like he just seems like he looks more of a martial artist in the ring than Bisping did.
I see what you mean.
Okay.
There's no shade. I don't want.
Yeah.
Shading, you know what I mean? Take that shade off, man.
I'm doing our boy Bisping like that.
I love Bisping.
I understand where you're coming from. I feel like Till's striking looks more polished. Is that what you're trying to say? His stance, his movement and stuff does look more polished. I think Till is definitely a bit more of a martial artist, and Bisping is a bit more of a fighter.
Yeah,
he's more of a fighter.
He's got a lot more of a brawler in him.
Yeah. But he's still very, very.
Whereas Till's punches a lot punches and kicks a lot calculated.
Yeah.
A lot more calculated, I'd say, and that's not a dig at Bisping at all.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Yeah, I love Till's style. I think he's great, and he just reminds me of the way he moves and the way his offensive counter-punching pressure reminds me a lot of McGregor. Who forces himself.
You throwing shade on McGregor?
No. I think he's a great martial artist. He'll put that pressure on you and cut you off to force something out of you, and he's got them long sniper-like shots. And
it's like them half steps when they go back and forward and half step back.
Yeah, I think he's great, and I think you're right. I think he's got the capabilities to put away anybody in that division without a question. His power's ridiculous. But like you were saying, he's still got holes in his game that he's working on. Everybody does. And he's beatable, but he can take anyone out.
And he's still got to fight Yoel Romero.
Yeah.
That's a scary fight.
The middleweight division's looking great right now. It is.
What about your favourite division?
The bantamweights. Oh my gosh.
Give us like, what's tickling your fancy there?
Oh, everything?
Stacked.
Everything? Stacked up to the eyeballs. Cejudo's just gone.
I reckon he'll be back. So I just throw that in there.
Yeah, definitely. He's 100% going to be back. He's just waiting for the right payday. Definitely. You've got Pyotr Yan, who's just beaten Aldo.
The future.
Yeah, he's terrifying. The way his body mechanics are when he lands his strikes.
Super powerful.
Yeah, it's like he's made of steel. The way he throws them punches, he's got that. You can just tell when he's throwing. He's got that different type of power. And a lot of people are throwing shade at Aldo about him being done, but honestly, that's the best Aldo I've seen in years, and I think it reiterates.
Best looking Aldo as well, like
the leg kicks to the back, his head movement was on point, his front and back, he recovered from that ruthless body shot. But it comes back to saying, I think Aldo's a 3-round fighter, and I think Peter Yan just played the long one on that. Yeah. Then you've got Aljamain Sterling, you've got Funkmaster, you've got Cory Sandhagen, who's amazing.
You know that Sterling is like. Do you think he gets the same sort of rap? Because when I was watching, I didn't feel like it was that like
great.
Yeah, no, I didn't feel it was like that exciting. He won, he won the guy, but I just didn't. Do you think he's like the same sort of? Do you have to literally, if you want to get the title shots, is it you don't feel like you can just win? It feels like you've got to make. You can skip someone if you have an amazing fight.
You've got to make these massive statements. Everybody's so chocked together, and it's all the way down. Like Coady Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw's going to be back in the work soon when his band's off.
When he's clean.
Yeah. How dare you? You've got, like Sandhagen, Funkmaster. There's just so many. Coady. There's just, and all the others that I forgot. Yeah. There's so many that I can't even talk about them. Do you know what I mean? Like, so many good matchups there.
Have you got any future matchups that you just want to hit on before? We go.
I want to see Sean O'Malley fight someone in the top 10.
Yeah.
He's got to get past our boy Cheeto Vera first.
I think that he can't him out. That.
We know he's picked up. We
Yeah,
know,
well,
we
yeah.
know exactly who's picked.
He said it was a good fight.
I want to see Vera come out on top of that one. No shade on O'Malley, he's great, but he's in no rush. I really think he's in no rush. He will get up there definitely. But Gaethje versus Khabib, and I don't want to hear anything about Conor jumping the queue. Yeah. As soon as he talked about coming back, the name I had in my head was either Barboza or Gaethje. But this was I think when Gaethje just got in.
But didn't he beat Barboza?
But that was a while back. Sorry, Barboza's had a little bit of a skid and whatnot. But the two in my mind was Gaethje, and when he said he was going up to 155 after he beat Aldo, as soon as the IV changes were happening, I knew he was never going to go to 145 again. So I was like, okay, if he can beat Khabib, this was before Khabib was champion. If he can beat Khabib, then he's proved himself. Yeah. And but Gaethje versus Khabib, that's a matchup. That's a matchup. I know.
Because don't forget, Gaethje can wrestle.
He can wrestle his ass off.
He just
don't wrestle. He just wants to stand up, baby.
He wants to absolutely box the face off.
Yeah, high level.
Let me tell you, he can wrestle. That boy can wrestle. He does folk wrestling.
Yeah.
It's not normal wrestling. It's folk style wrestling.
As American as it gets, baby.
As American as it gets, boy.
Yeah. But I think looking at the hardest matchups in that division from the last year or two, I was always with Fergie Ferg. I know he didn't come off
one of my top 3 favourite fighters.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Tony Ferguson
and Gaethje. Those are the two.
But the way Gaethje touched Ferguson was just...
the empty arena.
It was a murder show, and it was just, you could hear just each slap. And
how tough is Ferguson, man? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You could hear every shot because the empty arena.
It's a walking iron bar, that man is.
Yeah. But I think Gaethje has a good chance. Like, if I had to put
he has as good a chance as anyone.
Yeah.
If I had to put money down, I'd go for Gaethje.
It tends to be like the people who Khabib's recently fought have either got one or the other, and they haven't really got, like, he's fought a lot of strikers, hasn't he? So it seems like that advantage is there anyway, you know.
But no strikers that can really wrestle.
Yeah. So we've got someone who Gaethje can strike, but as you say, can wrestle. So he can wrestle, boy.
Yeah, you've got strikers, and then you've got strikers that aren't scared of being taken down, and you can see that difference. Even taking it back to people like Nick and Nate Diaz, they're not amazing wrestlers.
Examples, they'll hold down for you.
But off the back, they're amazing. They're not worried about being taken down, and they can throw as many punches and shots and swing themselves in and shift as much as they want, and they can be truly free when they're striking because they ain't gonna worry about it. And there's a lot of strikers that, whether they want to say it or not, if you're going in there against one of the most dominant grapplers of all time, and you know what's going to happen over them 5 rounds, that's in the back of your head.
That's like Barboza, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He fought like, I remember looking, Khabib's on top of Barboza, and he's like, even the commentator even said, look at his eyes. And he's just like,
oh, I'm
fucking hell.
What's going on? How did I get into this?
Yeah. Craziness. But I think that Gaethje's going to go in without fear. Yeah. And there's not many people that you can say that about. And I think it is, as much as a skill set thing, it's a mindset thing as well. And I think Ferguson's like that. He'll go in without that fear, and that's why I got them 2 at the top of the list against for dethroning Khabib. Great champion, by the way. Great champion.
I'm going to throw some shade at Khabib now.
No.
Here we go. Controversial, guys.
What's got to say about our boy?
He's got a padded record.
You think he's got a padded record?
I think he's got a padded record.
Yeah.
I do. Honestly do.
This might be the title of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Khabib has a padded record.
I want to pull up his Sherdog record now.
Eh?
I want to pull up his Sherdog record now.
Let's have a look.
He fought Michael Johnson. I'm sure he got rocked by Michael Johnson. Fast hands on Mr. Johnson. He took out Abel Trujillo. Can't pronounce his name. He took out McGregor. Oh, you're going to find it up here?
Yeah.
Let's have a look then.
Oh, what, you mean the host and the tech guy?
Well, you know what I mean, if you ain't got a tech guy on, but to be fair, we can
if
you can bring it up there.
I could try and put it up on a Swifty one.
On a Swifty, but yeah, so, well, why do you believe?
I think
what do you think it's padded?
I just think, out of his, what is he, 20, 30
27
now? No, he's 20, he's more than that, isn't he? 28? 28. Let's go for 28.
Okay, yeah.
I'd say 6 of them are deep water fights for him.
Yeah.
But you could say that about anybody. You could say that about Conor McGregor.
Oh no, I agree with
You
that.
could say that about...
I agree that. I agree with that. But at the time, Conor McGregor was taking out people that were.
Yeah. They say he hasn't
dominant.
lost the round though, don't they?
He has.
Oh, one
He's
to
lost
Conor
one,
McGregor.
Yeah, to Conor McGregor.
Oh.
Fucking good for him as well.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to go through a few names on this record that stand out to me.
Bearing in mind, I haven't seen this record for a long time.
Okay.
When I last looked at it, I thought he hasn't really beat anyone.
He's got Gleison Tebow on his record, who's an old school tank. Thiago Tavares. He's got Abel Trujillo, Pat Healy, good wrestler. He's got RDA on his record. He's got Michael Johnson, Edson Barboza. He's got Raging Aloy Quinta, who I personally
think that was his best test.
Yeah, Raging Aloy.
Because
I was told, don't you? But it's because you know before when he fought Barboza, that's what everyone was saying. That was his quality test and all this. Are you saying that because Al Quinto had more against him rather than Barboza's more just kicking, so the wrestling would counteract that way, rather than Al Quinto had more to
offer in that.
Do you know what I mean?
Department. Yeah. I get what you mean.
Raging Aloy Quinta, Conor McGregor, and Dustin Poirier. Now,
so there's 6 out of how many? How many of you just named out of?
How many?
Out of 28. Yeah, everybody comes through the ranks, but if I'm looking at it, he's not been handed. He's not been spoon-fed. I really don't feel that. He's got Justin Gaethje up next. All of his last fights,
it's good to have
RDA.
Yeah,
100%.
I like a good debate.
RDA, Johnson, Barboza, Raging Al, McGregor, Dustin Poirier. They're all predominantly strikers. Now, if you're gonna spoon feed someone, you'll give someone a grappler who's not a good grappler, if you know what I mean.
But like we touched on, wrestling.
Yeah, wrestling.
Striking.
Yeah.
He does. Oh yeah, he does.
So I think that's the Well,
who was it?
I think it's that way that they're looking at. Oh, we'll just feed him strikers because.
Are they different fighters?
That's his game.
You know, Eddie Alvarez and Khabib. They was different divisions. Am I right? Is it was Eddie Alvarez?
No, there was both. There was both same division.
Alvarez is a lightweight. Yeah.
Yeah. So they never. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say. That would have been a good fight at a time.
Khabib was fighting when McGregor fought Alvarez, but he just weren't there. He hadn't been giving it. He was giving it to say, like, give me the title shot. But he just never got it
as well. I think just between Dustin, Conor, RDA, Michael Johnson. I think he hasn't been spoon-fed. That's just my honest opinion. But I think he's gonna have his greatest test to come. I think his greatest test is to come. Yeah, and I've just got a weird gut feeling that Gaethje is going to be the champ. Yeah. And shout out to Josh Emmett, 145 champ for next year. That's my prediction.
Yeah.
Josh Emmett for featherweight champion.
All right, then. So the end of next year. That's
Josh Emmett, the guy with the bald head.
Yes. Great lateral movement. Fantastic. Strong as heck.
Yeah, okay.
I think Josh Emmett can do it. Yeah.
You think he can take a... Who did you say? Volkanovski?
Volkanovski's at the top at the moment. Holloway's in the mix.
By the way, Max Holloway never lost that fight. The last fight. He never lost that fight.
That's it. He agrees.
I don't think he lost that fight, and I think it's a flaw with the judging.
100%.
I think it's a flaw with the judging, and it's not necessarily that the judges picked it the wrong way because it was a close fight. I think it's the way that we judge our fights. If we was to implement a half-point system instead of a full-point system, I think we would have seen the first 2 rounds going 8.5s, 10 to 8.5s towards Max. And then the last 2 rounds, which were very, very close, but Volkanovski peaked out as 10 to 9.5s, which would have put Max around ahead.
I get that, but imagine in football, if you play at the other teams and you score 1 goal and you get 1.5 goals, it's just like saying that and he's changing the rules, and it says that. So he won that. Like in boxing, it's not always the hardest person wins the fight, but it's the point. They've got the points. You know what I mean? Someone can tap your head all night and just keep going. As long as he's hitting in this position, then he's gonna win the fight.
I feel like it's a bit
Because that's what they've kind of took it from the Muss system.
Yeah, from boxing, yeah. I feel like it's less black and white than more so scoring a goal or not, because it has a flow to it, and there's more significance, like you're saying, to strikes that are landed. There's more and less significance based on the power. Like, sometimes you'll see people on the scorecards who win purely based off of their significant strikes, even though the person with less strikes was doing much more damage. And you've got to throw with more energy if you're going to land power strikes, so it costs more. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like there should be a little bit more intricacy when judging on such a vast amount of sports, which is MMA. There's so much to judge.
And that's why a fighter should be a judge.
Yeah. Fighters definitely should be. They should.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Make a whole new set of the way you judge. Judging rules, and let fighters be the judges.
Yeah, if they could find a way to transition. I know that they're tied up with the athletic commissions and all that stuff, so it's going to be hard for them, but I reckon over the next 5 years or so, 10 years, I hope that they can make more changes to give fairer judging to the fighters, because one loss, and like Max could be the champion right now. He could have retained his title and got that GOAT status back, and now everyone's going to be not saying that, talking about him. Well, he lost to Volkanovski twice. Do you know what I mean? Where that's up in arms. So it's an interesting subject.
That's the one thing I would hate though if I was champion.
Wrong.
Everyone's saying that you weren't a clean win.
Yeah, that would be hard to deal with, and Volkanovski's
I mean, he's
He's
walking
a
around
nice
with that
guy.
belt thinking, did I win?
He's a nice guy as well, isn't he? He's actually genuinely a nice guy.
Genuinely.
Fair play to Volkanovski.
Where's he from? Australia, New Zealand?
Yeah, New Zealand.
Is it New Zealand?
Yeah, New Zealand. He's in the same camp as Adesanya.
So I was going to, before we go,
Big up New Zealand.
I want to talk about Fight Island success.
How
Loved it.
I think
Absolutely loved it. All I wanted was Dana to be like raised above the octagon.
Yeah.
Like,
Should be in a
sat there in a
throne.
throne.
Made out of MMA gloves.
All the BMF belt on him.
Yeah.
You know, because he is literally the baddest mother.
Yeah. Are you happy that, you know, like a lot of promoters, or you know, like anyone in boxing who aren't doing the boxing seems to get a lot of stick. Like, he's loved, isn't he? He's loved by the UFC.
Because it takes a true fanatic and someone with such passion to, through these times in the world, to go and rent a whole island and keep his fighters afloat. You can say what you want about him, whether matchups and this and that and spats. Like, this guy has built this platform off of just hard work and passion.
He
So he shares that passion that we share for the game. And I think that's why he gets all that respect. And I think he deserves it, because he could have just sat in his giant mansion with his feet up, doing what I was about to say, smoking. I don't know if he smokes that, but you know, with his whiskey and not done anything. But here we are. We've got fights every week on an island. When the guys aren't watching the football. The football's come back on recently.
It's a major success then.
Massive.
Happy days.
Massive.
So guys, that was our first MMA podcast.
There we go.
Hey, we got through it.
We survived.
And guys, so that's our first podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, wherever you're listening to it. If you're watching it on YouTube, if you're listening to it on Spotify, if you've got it on iTunes, any of the podcast places, if you're on Facebook, search Padcast. We'll be constantly doing these. Yeah, Keep a lookout. And thanks for watching.
Yeah. Take care, guys.
See you later.
Hooray. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like down below for all the latest boxing news.